So today we will see Banker's algorithm. So Banker's algorithm, this is used for deadlock avoidance. Here we need to check that each of these processes which are requesting for execution, it should go into safe state. There should not be a deadlock wherein no process can execute. So now first consider the example wherein the number of instances of each resource are 7, 7, 10. That is R1 resource is having 7 instances, R2 resource having again 7 instances, and R3 resource is having 10 instances. So these are nothing but the total existing resources. Now the next given thing is the current allocation matrix. So current allocation matrix, we call it as A. Let's suppose we call it as A. So here 3 resources are there, R1, R2, R3, and 3 processes are there, P1, P2, P3. So allocated resources are 2, 2, 3 for P1. That means 2 instances of R1 are allocated to P1. Similarly, 2 instances of R2 are allocated to P1. Similarly, 3 instances of R3 are allocated to P1, and likewise for P2 and P3. Now the next matrix, this is the max need matrix or the maximum required matrix, which is also called as claim matrix. So this we call it also as a max claim matrix. So again, max claim matrix means for execution of P1 it requires 3 instances of R1, 6 instances of R2, and 8 instances of R3. If these 3, 6, 8 resources or instances of R1, R2, R3 respectively are available, then only that P1 process will go into safe state and it can do the execution. So first we'll check whether this P1 it satisfies the safe condition. Before that we have to calculate the need matrix. So need matrix is nothing but need matrix, that is nothing but claim matrix C minus allocation matrix as R. So this is nothing but R, this is nothing but C. So C minus R we have to consider. So C minus R, so that need matrix, what it will be? C minus R, so it will be 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2, it will be 1. Similarly 6 minus 2, it will be 4. 8 minus 3, here it will be 5. So we have to calculate this need matrix. So here again 4 minus 2 as 2, then 3 minus 0, 3, 3 minus 3, 0, 3 minus 1, 2, 4 minus 2, 2, 4 minus 4, 0. So we have to consider this as a need matrix, 1, 4, 5, 2, 3, 0, 2, 2, 0. So once you calculate need matrix, then you have to calculate the available resources, that is the available resources. So how you are going to calculate the available resources? Available resources are nothing but we have to subtract this total current allocation. First we have to calculate. So total current allocation we have to calculate. So how we are going to calculate? So add all these allocated resources. So 2 plus 2 plus 1. So here it will be 5. Here it will be 4. And here it will be 10. So that means 5 instances of R1 are already allocated. 4 instances of R2 are allocated. 10 instances of R3 are allocated. Now we have to check the instances. Total existing instances are 7, 7, 10. Okay, so available resources will be nothing but the total existing resources were 7, 7, 10 minus this total allocated resources, that will be 5, 4 and 10. So here 5, 4 and 10. So subtract this. So here it will be 7 minus 5, it will be 2, 7 minus 4, 3, 10 minus 10, 0. So the available resources A, these are 2, 3, 0. So we have to check whether this P1 works into safe state. So we have to compare the need matrix. We have to compare the need matrix. It should be less than equals to available resources. So for P1 we'll consider first. So for P1, what is the need matrix? The need matrix for P1 is 1, 4, 5. So here it is 1, 4, 5. We have to compare this. Less than equals to available are 2, 3, 0. So 1 is less than equals to 2? Yes. 4, is it less than equals to 3? No. 4 is not less than equals to 3. So this P1 will go into unsafe state. So P1 will go into unsafe state and P1 will not able to complete its execution. So next, after P1, it will go to next process, that is P2. Okay, so P2, these are the allocated resources and these are the required 433. So again we need to check the need matrix, whether it is less than equals to available resources. So for P2, what is the need matrix? So for P2, the need matrix is 2, 3, 0. So here we will write 2, 3, 0. Is it less than equals to available? Now the available resources are 2, 3, 0. So here it will be 2, 3, 0. So available resources are this. Need matrix is this. So we have to compare. 2 less than equals to 2? Yes. 3 less than equals to 3? Yes. 0 less than equals to 0? Yes. So P2 will go into safe state. P2 works into safe condition or safe state. Okay. So once P2 executes, so P2 runs for execution. So P2 runs for execution. That means now the allocation matrix R, that will get changed. So P1, P2, P3. So P1 will remain as it is. P2 will be 0, 0, 0. Here it will remain as it is. And the claim matrix C, again it will remain same for P1. For P2 it will be 0, 0, 0. For P3 it will remain same, 3, 4, 4. And the available matrix A, that was what? 2, 3, 0 plus the allocated resources. So how many were allocated to P2? 2, 0, 3 were allocated. So it will be here 2, 0, 3. So now it will be here 4, 3, 3. So these will be the available matrix now, 4, 3, 3. So now here we'll check next P3. So P3, whether we'll have to check the need matrix, that is P3 need matrix is 2 to 0 is less than equals to, now the available matrix is nothing but 4, 3, 3. So we have to check this. So 2 less than equals to 4, yes. 2 less than equals to 3, yes. 0 less than equals to 3, yes. So P3 will do its execution. So once P3 runs for execution, the R allocation matrix will get changed. So here P1, P2, P3, so it will be 2, 2, 3 remain as it is, 0, 0, 0 remain as it is. P3 will, after P3 completes its task, whatever resources were allocated, those will be released and it will again become 0, 0. Similarly, claim matrix, that will remain as it is for P1, as it is for P2, and for P3 again those will be released. So it will be 0 0. And the available matrix was 4 3 3. Now here it will get changed. So it will be added here. How many were allocated to P3? 1, 2, 4 were allocated. So here now it will become 1, 2, 4. So now it will get changed as 5, 5, 7. So now available matrix is 5, 5, 7. So next we have to check P1, whether P1 is in safe state or not. So we have to check here the condition. What is that condition? Need matrix. So for need matrix, P1, what was the requirement? 1, 4, 5. So we have to check whether this 1, 4, 5, this is less than equals to the need matrix, that is 5, 5, 7. So 1 is less than 5, yes. 4 is less than 5, yes. 5 is less than 7, yes. So this condition is true. So P1 will do its task. So once P1 completes its task, the allocation matrix R, that will become 0 0 0, 0 0 0, 0 0 0. Similarly, the max claim matrix C, again that will also become 0 0 0, 0 0 0, 0 0 0. And the available resources, available matrix, that was what? 5, 5, 7, and whatever were allocated to this P1 are nothing but 2, 2, 3. That will be added here. 2, 2, 3. So it will become what? 7, 7, 10. Now this 7, 7, 10, it should match with this total number of instances of each resource, that is 7, 7, 10. So that means P1 also works into safe state, and algorithm or the example which is solved is right, because after executing all the processes, all the claim matrix R, if it becomes 0, this total number of existing instances should match with the initial one. So here P1 works into safe state. So this is how the banker's algorithm it works. Thank you.